What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video, another live show. Glad to let me do a quick sound check. Where's the volume button on this thing? Testing. Make sure everybody can hear. There we go. So, welcome everybody. Happy Black History Month. We are back with the special show. Since it's Black History Month, we're going to talk about, are black women really good luck on my wedding? Thank you. I need all the good luck that I'm going to get because wedding planning is extremely hard and I have no clue what I'm doing with wedding planning. And tonight's show, we're going to talk about black women versus black men. Why there is so many women in the world today that are against black men. Where did we get this from? Where did it come from? Why are we doing this? Because I'm a very person with history. And everybody likes to say, if you don't learn from your history, you're doomed to repeat it. So tonight, again, we're going to talk about black women versus black men. And I have a very great show tonight. I've done a lot of research. I have a lot of videos to show you. And we're going to also, if anybody wants to join the stream, get on camera, participate in the discussion, you're more than welcome. I'm going to post a link to that a little bit later on in the show. But without further ado, let's get into it. I believe that black women have turned their backs on black men. And the reason why I believe this is because when we look at the world and the modern woman and the modern woman that we have today, modern women don't want a successful relationship. Not only that, they don't want a successful partnership. They don't want a successful marriage. For those of you who have joined the platform recently, you know what we do over here. We talk about statistical data that can be proven and Googled. Black women are not getting married. Black women don't make more money than black men. I have an upcoming show where the new statistical data has just been released on college degrees. And I'm here to tell you first, black women are not making enough money to survive. Not only are they not making enough money, but they are not even making the money that they need, even with a college degree. Because a lot of people will say, oh, well, black women go to college and black women make more money and black women graduate with more degrees than black men. Okay, congratulations. But look at the job that you're getting. Look at the career that you're going into. Look at the things that you're doing. Black women, yeah, y'all make and go to school more often than black men, but even though you do, you're still not getting more degrees than us. You're still not making more money than us. As a matter of fact, black women are the lowest paid versus white men, white women, black men, Latino men and women, and Asian men and women. But black men are right here, black women are right here. So it's time for us to really dig into black women versus black men. Why did it happen? What happened to it? And why did we get to this point as a black community? Why did we get to this point? So I'm going to go through the presentation. Black women versus black men. And see, we didn't start off this way. That's what I want to make very clear. We didn't start off this way, but we became this way over time. Now, we've always talked about what black men have done. But we've never sat down. We've never sat down and talked about what black women have done. We've never done that. We've never sat down and said, black woman, this is your role in the destruction of the black community. Black woman, this is your main issue that you have contributed. We've always talked about black men ain't nothing. Black men are going to jail. Black men are not in the home. Black men. But we don't sit down and talk about black women. And just in case there's any black women watching, stay tuned. Get your pens. Get a pen. Get a piece of paper. Because this is for education. Black History Month is about education about black history. This is part of black history. Black women versus black men. Yes, it was designed. Yes, we understand that. We understand that the government, we understand that feminism, we understand that a lot of things contributed to the decline of black women versus black men. But now we're going to talk about black women. Number one, these are the things we're going to talk about. Why did the divide start? What can be done to mend the divide? The role that black women played in the divide. The role that men played in the divide. And the outside sources that had a hand in the divide. Mainly feminism, the government. Anybody that cares enough about black history, they will be able to regurgitate everything I'm talking about now. So again, hit that like button on your way in. If you're new here, welcome. Subscribe to the channel. Tickle that notification bell that will let you know every time I upload content. Number one, where did it all begin? I want you to pay very close attention to this. Before 1960, when poverty and racism were by all accounts far worse, the black family was more stable. Before see ladies, this is what I'm trying to say. We weren't always in shambles. The modern woman didn't exist. Back in the day, modern women didn't exist. Hood men didn't exist. Before 1960, the black family was more stable than white people. Throughout the first half of the 20th century, the large majority of black women were married before they had children. I want you to read that sentence, write it down, highlight it, write it in red ink, put a check mark by it. Throughout the first half of the 20th century, the large majority of black women were married before they had children. Black children were less likely. Follow me now. Black children were less likely than white people to grow up in two-parent homes, but only slightly so. It was only after 1960, even as more black men were finding jobs, and even as legal discrimination was being dismantled with civil rights legislation, that the family began to unravel. There's going to be a chain of events. You have civil rights, the Industrial Revolution, then you have redlining, you have white flight, you have black men unable to get jobs due to unionized workers blackballing black men from getting employment. Not only that, let's continue. It was precisely that unexpected disconnect that spurred Daniel Patrick Moynihan to warn that the cycle of poverty and disadvantage will continue to repeat itself. And what is it doing? The cycle of poverty is continuing to repeat itself in our community. Continuing on, I want you to pay very close attention. Welfare. How many black people do you know right now that are on welfare? How many? Put a 1 in the chat if you know a black person that's on welfare. It's important to realize that things weren't always so. The black American family provides a stock or historic example. From 1890 to 1950, black women had a higher marriage rate than white women. See, y'all were getting married at a higher rate than white people. And in 1950, just 9% of black children live without a father. So that lets me know something happened. Between 1960 and 1980, something happened. Continuing on, by 1960, the black marriage rate had declined but remained close to the white marriage rate. In other words, despite open racism and widespread poverty, strong black families used to be the norm. It used to be the norm. Let me enlarge myself. Strong black families used to be the norm. It used to be the norm for black women to marry black men, even though the poverty rate in our community was big. It was the norm to get married. It was the norm. What happened? I'm going to tell you what happened. See, this is what we have. This is why black women need to stop with all of their nonsense about there's no good men out here. There's no good men. Men ain't nothing. Men. No. Let's be realistic. See, by the mid 1980s, how many 80s babies do we have in the place? I was born in the 80s. A lot of 80s babies are the millennials. We're the millennials right now. By the time we were born in the 1980s, that's when the decline of the black family started. Again, let's continue. Black fatherlessness skyrocketed. Come on, ladies. It skyrocketed. Today, only 44% of black children have a father in the home. Ladies, you care to explain that? Let me say that again. But by the mid 1980s, this is 1980s. This was 38, almost 40 years ago. Black fatherlessness skyrocketed. Today, only 44% of black children have a father in the home. In unison, the rate of black out of wedlock births went from 24.5% in 1964 to 70.7% by 1994. How many of you were in elementary school in 1994? I was. It's all here. This is where it all began. Roughly where it stands today. Ladies, I'm waiting on an answer. See, black women, they always want to blame it on the man. They always want to blame it on men. They go out and they sleep with random women and they do this and it takes two to tango. They always say that. They always say it takes two to tango. They always say it takes two to have a baby. But why in the world, when 1980s started, women weren't getting married? Not only that, the fatherless rate skyrocketed. But yet, it takes two to tango. Yet, it takes two people to make a baby. So, did you forget about history, ladies? Did you forget the black man went to war? You don't remember World War I, World War II, the war in Vietnam, where black men were out on the front lines fighting for America's freedom, and the black woman was at home. And what was she doing? Instead of holding the black man down while he was at war, she was going out having babies outside of wedlock. Like, this is what we're saying. Like, if you're going to tell a story, tell the whole thing. And welfare did play a role. One contributor to family breakdown, which soon spread to the poor and working class white family, may have been, listen, welfare expansion. Section 8, WIC, welfare, Medicaid. Yes, there are more white people on food stamps than there are black people, but that's now. We're talking about then. First, it was us. Cash welfare in meager form existed since 1935. And some welfare expansion took place during the Kennedy administration. But under Johnson's Great Society. They're talking about Lyndon B. Johnson, which began in 1964. Benefits became substantially more generous and came under greater control of the federal government. That's what I'm saying. Like, how are you going to say black men are at fault, but yet more black women were on welfare than anything? In the words of Harvard's Paul Peterson, some programs actively discourage marriage. You don't say. Some programs discourage marriage because, listen, ladies, I want you to hear this. Welfare assistance went to mothers so long as no male was in the house. Even today, if you want to get on Section 8, even today, if you want to get on Section 8, you cannot have a man in that house. Even today. So think about it. You have the men at war. Man goes to war. Woman is left at home with the children. So what did the woman do? Instead of holding down the house, what did she do? She left. And this is what I want to say. This is the reason why there are so many broken homes in the black community, because so many black women don't understand peace. They want to fight. They want to argue with their man. They want to nag their man. They want to disrespect their man. And then they want to say things like, well, if you provide the lifestyle and the man leads and the woman follows, okay, well, some of y'all don't know how to follow a man. Let's be realistic. A lot of you women that are watching this live right now, whether you're live in the chat or you're catching the replay, a lot of you don't know how to be led. Let's roll that clip.
Be very cautious. Says I'm looking. Ladies, be very cautious of a man that says, I'm looking for a woman that can bring me peace, because what that is really saying and translating over to is that I don't have peace and I'm requiring you to bring it to me. Okay, you can bring a man the sun, the moon, the stars. You can bring him peace, love, and joy. If he doesn't already have it within him, he won't be able to receive it. He won't understand the language. So what he really needs is to find peace within himself, and then want a woman that has peace within herself. And together, y'all make heaven on earth. Anything else is going to be a route to destruction, okay? If mommy and daddy didn't tell you, Queen Mother AY is here to tell you, all right? Y'all click that link in bio for our digital workbooks.
Ladies, this woman will keep you single. Women don't want to give a man peace. Why do you think so many women argue with a man? They fight with a man. They nag a man. They disrespect a man. How do you know what peace is? When a man says, I want peace and I want a woman to bring me peace, that is the true nature of a woman. Is to bring a man peace, to nurture a man, to be with that man, to coddle and cuddle and love on that man, to be a helpmeet to that man. A man's role in a relationship is different than a woman's, and a lot of women fail to realize their role. The fact that this woman is saying, be careful of a man that wants his woman to bring him peace, that tells me all I need to say. You do not know peace. A lot of women think peace is spiritualism, meditation, crystals, tarot. Like, that's not peace. Nagging a man and then expecting him to jump when you say jump is not peaceful. It's not. And see, this is what we've got to understand. This is where it all started. And see, marriage to an employed male, even when earning the minimum wage, placed at risk a mother's economic well-being. Infamous man in the house. That's where the man in the house comes from. Because I grew up around people that were on Section 8, and I always heard people say, you don't want to have a man in the house, or they would have to hide the man, or they would have to make sure that the man wasn't going to be in the house. Because if the man was in the house, the woman would lose her welfare check and lose her Section 8 housing. The man in the house rules meant that welfare workers would randomly appear in homes to check and see if the mother was accurately reporting her family status. They do that today. Put a 1 in the chat if you know people that are on Section 8. You cannot have a man in the house. There are also income requirements to even be on Section 8. The benefits available were extremely generous. According to Peterson, it was estimated that in 1975, a household head would have to earn $20,000 a year to have more resources than what could be obtained from Great Society programs. In today's dollars, that's over $90,000 per year in earnings. That may be a reason why in 1964, listen, only 7% of American children were born out of wedlock compared to 40% today. The government paid mothers to keep fathers out of the home. That was what was happening. And see, we see the residuals of that today. We see WIC, Section 8, food stamps, Medicaid, government assistance, why people would have children. Another reason why people would have multiple children is because taxes. You get a certain allotment of money per child when you file taxes. And we all knew somebody, or we all know somebody that had kids for the sole purpose of collecting a check. This is nothing new. This has been going on since the 1970s, the 1980s. This is nothing new. This is not something that we just thought about and said, okay, we're just going to wake up one morning and we're going to miraculously do it. Identifying welfare as a contributor, along with shifts in the labor market and deindustrialization, explains why fatherless has spread as it has. For example, racial differences in marriage rates may be largely due to racial income disparities. Black men were not making a lot of money back in the day. This was before feminism, before the Industrial Revolution. Because after slavery, when slavery ended, the Industrial Revolution happened and black men had all the skills white men did not. So what did they have to do? They had to create the unions to keep us out of work. Racial income disparities, which led to stiffer marriage penalties for black adults. And today, many means-tested programs reach into the working class and lower middle class, which correspond with a decline among marriage among these groups. Listen, ladies, in today's America, 4 in 10 families with children receive support from at least one means-tested transfer program. One study even found that almost a third of Americans said they personally know someone who chose not to marry for fear of losing a benefit. And now we're going to get into the tools to destroy the black family. And see, we have to understand where the black woman falls into this. Because all of these things that I have listed, we're going to go through each one by one. We're going to go through each one. Feminism, black women played into that. Wiccan food stamps, black women played into that. Section 8 housing, same thing. Over-sexualization of black women, music and rap videos. First up, feminism. If there's any feminist in the house, this is gonna piss you off, and I don't care. Because feminism, the reason why I put feminism as number one is because there are black feminists online, on YouTube right now that spew feminism, feminist BS, feminism, and it's destructive to both black women and black family. Feminism is the most destructive thing that has ever destroyed not only the black family, but black women. And black women continue to drink the Kool-Aid. They continue to drink the Kool-Aid of feminism, and it's sad. Why do you continue to drink the Kool-Aid of feminism, black woman, and then use them feminism talking points against black men? Why? If nobody else is gonna hold you accountable, I'm holding you accountable. Feminism. Now, just in case you're just joining, welcome. Hit that like button on the way in. Tickle that notification bell. If you're not a subscriber of the channel, I don't know why you wouldn't be. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now if you like what you see. Happy Black History Month to everyone everywhere. Feminism. Put a 1 in the chat if you knew that feminism destroyed black people, especially black women. Go ahead, put a 1 in the chat. Feminism caused the worldwide disrespect of the black man by the black woman, leading to the destruction of the black family unit. Wow. It's like that meme. Oh my God. Wow. It's just like that meme. Black women, CIA agent here, black women fell for the tricks of the ex-CIA agent Gloria Steinem and the demonizing of black men in her book. How many of you knew that Gloria Steinem was a CIA agent sent to infiltrate the black community and destroy it by using black women against black men? Put a 1 in the chat if you knew that. Go ahead, don't worry, I'll wait. Because we're talking about it, because this is the truth. Share this video for everybody who needs to see this video. The book, how many of you knew this? The book, Black Macho and the Myth of the Superwoman, was detrimental to the black woman and the black community. Because you have to understand, and I want you to pay close attention, black woman, to what I'm about to say. Feminism was never your fight to begin with. Feminism dealt with white women's rights, white women's place in the home, white women's place in the household, because as a black woman, you were already taken care of. Black men, we were going to work, we were coming home. We were going to work, we were punching that clock, and we were coming home. We went to war in Vietnam. We went to war in World War I, World War II, Vietnam, and we came back. But see, while we were at war, the government got y'all on Section 8 WIC and food stamps and said, you know what? While your man is out fighting for your country, dying for your country, we are going to take care of you. See, I'm going to drop a nugget of history that may go over some people's heads, but I hope everybody gets it. And I'm going to explain it to you as very easy as I can. If you look throughout history, from slavery, industrial revolution, civil rights, even to today, the black woman has always been used as a pawn against black men. Always. Think about it. In slavery, what happened? The black man was broke down in front of the black woman during slavery, and white people had to take care of her. After the Industrial Revolution and slavery ended, black men could not get jobs. We couldn't get jobs. We were outed because white people did what? They formed unions. Unions allowed black men to be outed from the working class. So with no jobs and no income, what did black men do? We joined the military and we fought for our country. We had no choice. We needed income. But what the government did was they drew the black woman away and said, let us take care of you. Then by the time black men came back from war, the black woman had deserted us. They got on Section 8. They got on food stamps. They got on WIC. They got on government aid. They got on Medicaid. They drank the Kool-Aid of feminism. Feminism was never a black woman's fight. It was a white woman's fight. Black Feminism, the CIA, and Gloria Steinem. There's an article. Black Feminism, the CIA, and Gloria Steinem. I'm going to read you an excerpt from that article. Gloria Steinem first came across the radar of black men in 1978 when Steinem put a book called Black Macho and the Myth of the Superwoman on the cover of Miss Magazine, the magazine which she controlled. The book was written by a black feminist and activist named Michelle Wallace. How many of you know who that is? Michelle Wallace, feminist. Wallace was in her early 20s at the time, yet she was being touted as the leader of black feminism. In the book, Wallace called abolitionists like Harriet Tubman and Sojourner Truth ugly and stupid for supporting black men. She called black revolutionaries chauvinist macho pigs and advised black women to go it alone. See, this is the danger. This is the danger, black women, of listening to black women. If you want to be single, listen to a black woman. This is in the 1900s that these things are coming out. These things are coming out before 1980. If you want to be single, black women, listen to another black woman. You will be single as a dollar bill. Because it's only keeping the war alive between black women and black men. And a lot of people will say it's propaganda. Well, yeah, it is propaganda, but black women fall for it. You want to get on Twitter, you want to get on Instagram, you want to get on TikTok and YouTube and spout nonsense. Y'all think y'all understand how to be feminine, fit, and friendly. You don't. If black women knew what it took to be a wife, more black women would be getting married, but they're not. They're not getting married. We've already been through the statistical data numerous times on this channel. Black women are not getting married. Black women are not making enough money. Black women are not above black men. Continuing on, I want to get this point out. Feminism destroyed the black community because black women fell for it. Gloria Steinem said that Wallace's book would define the future of black relationships, and she pushed hard to make sure the book received massive publicity. Gloria Steinem's work triggered a flood of hate black men books and film that continues to this day. How many videos do you see on YouTube where you have an ignorant black person saying crap about black men? You know what? Let's play a clip. You know what we're gonna do. We're gonna roll that clip.
People acting like being a stay-at-home mom is just a privilege and not also a sacrifice. You have to pay housekeepers, janitors, nannies, caregivers, teachers, nurses, all that. And I'm all that in a day, baby. I'm a 25/8 on-the-clock domestic engineer. Act like it. And I can't speak for every mom, but don't get me started on me having my own dreams and goals. Let me preface this by saying being a mother is my greatest accomplishment. Or did I have to rearrange some of my plans to do so? Hell yeah. And being a parent is a sacrifice, period, but being a stay-at-home mother is an all-day sacrifice. Okay? All I'm saying is put some respect on our names immediately, because everybody ain't able and everybody ain't able to do it well.
And see, I agree and disagree with that statement because It's different when you're a stay-at-home mom versus going out into the workforce, having to work, having to deal with a boss, having to go out, fight the world, and then come home and be a woman at the same time. Don't you think there's something wrong with a woman going out to work? Because that's what going back to feminism. Feminism said, I'm a woman. I can do everything a man can do. I can work. I can join the military. I can sing. I can dance. I can do whatever a man can do. Yay, I'm woman. Really? But yet, you would rather go out and work a job than stay at home and be comfy, cool, collected, and calm. You would rather go out and work, fight your man at home, and then fight your boss at work. You would much rather go, hey, to each his own, but that is not what women are supposed to do. It's not. You just saw the video. Because so many people just don't understand how bad feminism tainted black women. Even today, there are black women around the world that still want to be feminists. I wouldn't do that. Women are supposed to be happy. Right, women are supposed to be happy. Work, well, that's you, Shogun. Work makes you happy. Well, I'm talking about women in general. Anyway, continuing on. Needless to say, some were quite suspicious of Miss Magazine and Gloria Steinem. Why was Steinem sticking her nose into the affairs of the black community? So many people started doing research on Steinem when it came out that Gloria Steinem was probably the ghostwriter of the book with Michelle Wallace's name on it. Wallace had a nervous breakdown and went into hiding for 2 years. However, the damage was already done, and the Hate Black Men movement was off and running. But the research into Gloria Steinem's background continued. What follows is the findings of many different researchers. Women, infants. How many of you know someone that was on WIC? Or you were on WIC? If you knew someone that was on WIC, or you were on WIC, put a 1 in the chat. Put a 1 in the chat. If you're watching live or if you're watching the replay, put a 1 in the chat. Because this is phase 2 of what destroyed both the black community and black women as a whole. Right, 1. Everybody knows somebody who knows somebody that was on WIC. Now here, and I did my research, this is the most up-to-date food stamp criteria. Number 1, the WIC program is designed to serve certain categories of women, infants, and children. What about the men? What about the men? See what I'm talking about, women? You want to run to feminism and you want to run to government assistance, but government assistance for the black woman equals no man, which equals fatherless homes, which equals out of wedlock children, which equals a spike in fatherless homes. It's all connected. Hit that like button on your way in. And see, now we're going to look at the categories for WIC. Who qualifies? Therefore, the following individuals, where's the main ladies, are categorically eligible for WIC. Notice what I'm about to say. Pregnant, during pregnancy, and up to 6 weeks after the birth of an infant or at the end of the pregnancy. Women. Pregnant, postpartum, up to 6 months after the birth of an infant or the end of the pregnancy. And breastfeeding, up to the infant's first birthday. Infants, up to the infant's first birthday. Children, up to the child's 5th birthday. Right, women, but see, here's the thing. This is all a design, because what they're doing is they're getting black women on WIC and food stamps, encouraging them to have more children, because the more children you have, the more government benefits you will get. It's all connected. Continuing on, here's the income requirements. To be eligible for WIC, applicants must have an income below, see, here we go, income. To be eligible for WIC, applicants must have an income at or below an income level or standard set by the state agency, or be determined automatically income eligible based on a participation in certain programs. Where's the man at? Because if you have 2 people in a household, you're going to make more money, which automatically disqualifies you from the income requirements of food stamps. Right. The thing is that our community does wrong is use food stamps, WIC, and TANF cash used on the EBT card forever instead of using it temporarily. TANF literally stands for temporary assistance for needy families. Right. Temporary assistance for needy families. And if y'all want to join, the stream, click that link in the chat. I'm gonna pin it to the pin it to the top. If you want to join the chat, my only requirement is if you want to join, you must be on camera. If you're not on camera, you will not be able to join. But, and see, there's an income standard. The state agency's income standard must be between 100% of the federal poverty guidelines. See, that's what I'm saying. It's a cycle. Your own WIC, your own food stamps, your own Section 8 as a black woman, you're on these government assistance programs. And they want to keep you in poverty and keep the man out of the house. But you keep having children and getting more and more government assistance to the point that you're just on it forever. When I was on it and I was in because I was simply in school. I wasn't right. And see, that's what people don't understand. The government assistance doesn't have an end. They want to keep you on these income requirements as a woman. They want to keep you on these requirements. They want to keep you on WIC. They want to keep you on food stamps. They want to keep you on Medicaid. They want to keep you on SSI. They want to control your income. And you know that you can't have a man in the house because if you do, you lose everything. So what are you going to do? You're going to stay on food stamps. But if you start bettering yourself, they'll kick you out. Right. It's a trap that black people fall for, that black women fall for. It's a never-ending revolving trap. It's a trap. And see, here are the 4 qualifications to receive Section 8. And I want you to pay very close attention to the 2 top things. It's family status and income level. And because I want you to realize that family status and income level is very important. Family status and income level. So for safety, people will stay on it because it's free. Exactly. They will stay on it because it's free. Time is also a currency. You gotta be in the office for hours on end. You gotta waste your time arguing with these people. Exactly. Now keep in mind, I want you to pay very close attention to family status and income level. Look at family status. Read family status. Section 8 applicants also have to meet HUD's definition of a family. A family for HUD is an individual or group of individuals that meets any of these conditions. I want you to read this with me. Number 1, have children. You notice a trend here, ladies? Have children. Have infants. Have children. Have children. They don't say have a man. None of these government assistance programs ever say have a man. Why? Because they've removed the man out of the house and replaced the man with government assistance. So the government says, black woman, if you want us to take care of you, if you want all of this for free, if you want Section 8 WIC, food stamps, Medicaid, SSI, you gotta make a certain amount of money, which is typically the poverty level. You can't have a man in the house, but you can have all the children in the world. This is the reason why the fatherless rate shot up around the 1980s. Prior to the 1980s, around 1970 and prior, the black family was good. It wasn't until the 1980s that black families started to go bye-bye. Number 1, have children. Number 2, have one family member that's 62 or older. That means grandma can live with you. grandma, auntie, an older family member has been displaced from their home for an eligible reason, lived with people receiving Section 8, but lives alone after other family members have moved out. Notice what they're saying. Live alone, have children. Live alone, have children. Have an income that's around the poverty level or below. Why do you think so many black women, so many black people are still on Section 8 today? Because of this right here. This is why. Here we go with the income requirements. See, I want you to pay very close attention to this. People who apply for Section 8 are subject to income limits, which are set annually by HUD. These income limits are calculated as a percentage of the median income for individual areas of the country. There are 3 income limit tiers. Number 1, extremely low income. 30% of the area's median income level. This is where black people fall into. This is where black women fall into. Very low income. 50% of the area's median income level. Actually, my mistake. Extremely low income is 30%. Very low income is 50%. Moderately low income is 80% of the area's median income level. So black women, this is the reason why black women versus black men. This is where it all started. The government says, hey, let me put you on Section 8. Let me put you on welfare, on Medicaid, on government assistance. But you can't have a man in the house, and you have to have a certain level of income that we describe for you. We tell you what your income is. We tell you what the income requirements are. Because at the end of the day, you can't do anything without us. So the income level happens. This is the trap that people fall into, that black women continue to fall into. And I want you to pay very close attention to the video that I'm going to play next. Because it's important to realize I just did a video the other day. Hit that like button on your way in. I just did a video the other day called Black Woman Says Black Men Try to Control. And I played this video in that video, but I'm going to play it here. And then we're going to talk about it. Because I believe it's important to clear up that whole myth about black men control black women. Because if you're a black woman and you want to have a man, you want to have a successful relationship, there is a little bit of control that is going to be there. And I like how this sister explains what I'm talking about. Because if you're a woman and you want a relationship without control, guess what? It doesn't exist. There are no relationships without control. You're not going to find it. And as we always say here on this channel, say it with me, y'all. We're going to roll that clip.
regards to black women not being protected, let me first state the obvious. No man should put his hands on a woman. We desire protection, but sometimes what we don't understand is that true protection comes with a level of control. Bodyguards are a good example. A bodyguard will make their client leave from a dangerous place. The bodyguard has to know all the details: who, what, when, where, why, and how. And the client has to listen to the bodyguard and follow the instruction that the bodyguard gives them. It's really an agreement between all parties involved. When the person who needs protecting does not follow the instruction and the direction of the protector, it puts the protector in a situation where they're more likely to lose their life. I have 4 brothers and a father, and I listen to their instruction even when they're not around. They have told me to stay away from certain places if I'm by myself or if it's late at night. They've also advised.
Let me stop right there. Notice what this sister just said. I have brothers, I have a father. They have told me to stay away from certain places, to not be drunk, to not go certain places. See, a lot of women, they get mad when a man says you don't need to wear that when you go out with your girls. But yet you want us to protect you, right? You want us to provide. You want us to protect. You want us to do that, right? But you don't listen to the people that are protecting you. That's leadership, exactly. And see, a lot of women don't know what true leadership is, because I'm gonna say it. Get ready to get pissed off, but I'm gonna say it. A lot of women don't know what leadership truly is because they never had a father growing up. It is your father that teaches you what leadership is. It is your father that teaches you how a woman should be treated. Because how your father treats your mother is how you're going to expect to be treated as a woman. See, a lot of women don't know nothing about that because y'all never had fathers growing up. So you're already entering the race without even knowing what leadership truly is. And see, women would love to argue me down and say, oh, that's leadership. I mean, my bad. Oh, that's control. Oh, that's control. It's not control. It's leadership. Say it with me, y'all. Leadership. Leadership. Say it loud, say it proud. Leadership. To exercise restraining or directing influence over. It's not, because it's not restrictive for one's own personal gain, and it's not. Because if you are a woman and you are going out with your friends and your man says put something else on, why do you think? Ladies, answer me this. Why do you think a man is going to put his foot down with you and not allow you to do whatever the hell you want to do? Why? It's not because we want to control you. I'm gonna give you a man's perspective. Let's say you have a man and you're going out with your girls and you're dressed scantily clad like a hooker, and you go out and another guy runs up on you and starts feeling on you, breaking your boundaries. Your man's not there to protect you. So who's going to protect you? Your girlfriends? No. So we're trying to prevent something like that from happening from the beginning. Because men are a man has to protect you from the bad men out in the world. So the least you could do as a woman is not make stuff harder on yourself and just listen to your man. Right, what the young lady is describing as leadership. Continuing on.
Me not to be drunk or high in certain situations. Even though my brothers, my dad, and the men in my life protect me, I in turn protect them by listening to them and following their instruction.
Say that again.
They don't have to come to my defense in some wild scenario, because if I listened to them, I wouldn't have been there in the first place.
And see, that's what we are saying. This is the reason why myself, Riva TV, shout out to her, Crimson Kier, shout out to her, Melanie King, shout out to her, Media Man, shout out to him, all the other people that are fighting a good fight with me. This is the reason why we tell women, marry before you carry. This is the reason why we tell women to pick better partners. This is the reason why we tell women not to do dumb shit so you don't get into situations. We are holding women accountable and giving you leadership. When a man holds a woman accountable, that is not control, that is leadership, because we care enough about you to call that BS out. Each and every day, me and other content creators get on this platform and fight the good fight against modern women everywhere, holding women accountable for what? Because we are giving you sound leadership. That's what it is. Why do you think the elders of our black community are now saying the women have gone bad? It's a respect thing, because women don't respect men. Women don't respect anybody. And what this young lady is describing right now is leadership. Why do you think people like the Crimson Kier and Riva TV and Media Man get so much flack, including myself? Because we're trying to hold modern women accountable. Just like this young lady in the video. And I'm glad she said what she said, because it's very important. I'm going to rewind it because I want you to hear that again. This is the reason why I do what I do and everybody else does what they do, because we're holding people accountable, because it's the right thing to do.
I, in turn, protect them by listening to them and
listening to them and following what? Their direction. Why?
Following their instruction. They don't have to come to my defense in some wild scenario, because if I listened to them, I wouldn't have been there in the first place.
If you listen to them, you wouldn't have been there in the first place. So if you listen to a man when he says marry before you carry, you won't end up with a baby dad and a child, and you're stuck with a man for the rest of your life that you're not married to. If you listen to a man, you won't get into those situations. You won't be broken and discarded and traumatized and hurt. Because if you listen, now I'm not saying all men are worth listening to, but if you get around a decent man that is able to lead you Listen. It's that simple. Listen to that man. It ain't hard. Just listen. Because had you listened, you wouldn't be in that mess to begin with. I'm glad she said that.
And this is another thing I feel like is pertinent to say, and I know folks ain't gonna like this one. I don't have sons right now, but when I do have sons, I'm gonna teach them that there's a difference between diamonds and dirt and rubies and rocks. Rubies and diamonds are often in jewelry stores. They're in glass cases, they're secured, there's an alarm system. There's a lot of layers of protection because those things are valuable. But you could pull over to the side of the road and find some dirt and rocks. Expecting a man to risk his well-being, his future, and his life on someone who does not see value in themselves or the man is asinine. That's a very asinine thing to ask.
Exactly.
All I'm saying is protection comes with a little bit of sacrifice. It comes with a little bit of control. And me personally, I feel that what I have to sacrifice and the amount of control I have to give up is 100% worth it to receive the protection that I've been getting my whole life. I made a video about black women and preventative protection and how if you want someone to protect you, you're going to have to listen to them and try to avoid being in dangerous situations. And because you guys didn't like what I said, I received death threats. People wish that someone would bust my car window and pistol whip me. People wish that some people or that they themselves could find me and hit me with a brick. All these young girls that are out here that are still wet behind the ears but are aging like milk and bananas calling me old. I'm not expecting y'all to be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that, because I know y'all don't care. But I'm going to say what I want regardless because I don't receive my self-worth and validation based on what people say about me online.
Exactly.
I grew up in a time before all of that. And my self-worth and validation is based on my principles and my character. Some of y'all wouldn't know nothing about that. So I'll say this again, for the people that have sense, preventative protection is the best kind of protection. For every other crime that exists, we understand that preventative measures is the best way to
Right,
avoid
you
said
shouldn't.
crimes. If I don't want my car broken into or stolen or vandalized, I'm not going to leave it unlocked with valuable things in my car. I know people personally who have gotten their car broken into several times. I've never gotten my car broken into, knock on wood. If I don't want to get robbed, I'm not going to go to the ATM late at night by myself because that is not a wise decision to make. And you guys can say, well, that still doesn't stop people from getting robbed or their car getting stolen or whatever, but it greatly minimizes the risk.
See, again, you can't 100% prevent something. But just like this woman said, it minimizes the risk. You can't 100% prevent pregnancy, but not allowing a man to sleep with you that you wouldn't see as the father of your child minimizes the risk. See, this is what men are saying, and this is what I'm saying. Yes, right now, it is black women versus black men. The reason why we got this way is because black women have drank the Kool-Aid. But what people need to do, and this is the solutions. Number one, you need therapy. You need to seek professional help. A lot of black women are traumatized. A lot of black women, people need to talk about both parties at the same time. We get that. It's like the solutions is this. Go to therapy. Seek professional help. A lot of black people are traumatized. Yeah. A lot of black people are traumatized. Both men and women. Go to therapy. Seek professional help. Learn to love with an open heart and an open mind. Learn the signs of a poogie. Stop dealing with dogs and waking up with fleas and then blaming society for the reason why you're laying down with dogs and waking up with fleas. Learn to take accountability for your own actions. Women, stop blaming men. Stop blaming men for the reason why you are in the situation that you're in. Stop it. It's time to take accountability. Society is not going to hold women accountable. This world is not going to hold women accountable. But me and other content creators, we're going to hold women accountable, because if we don't do it, who is? Matter of fact, there was I wish I had downloaded that video, but there was a story. I was on Twitter earlier today. There was a story about a black man who a judge was going to threaten jail time if he had another child. It was a white lady judge. Some of y'all may have seen it if you've been on Twitter anytime today. But there was a black man who was going to have children. He had about 10 kids. And the judge was like, if you have any more kids, you're going to jail. But yet, a black woman can go on Maury with 5 kids, not know who the dad is, and not get anything. See, society will hold men accountable. They will hold men accountable. The world will not hold a woman accountable. And that's what we're doing. That's what I'm doing, is holding women accountable. Nobody else is going to do it. We live in a society where it's cool to make mistakes and blame it on everybody but ourselves. We live in a society where it's great to just live off the government for the rest of our lives and never really amount to anything. We live in a society where 5-year-old and 6-year-old children know Pound Town by Sexy Red. That's the society we live in. We live in a society where school teachers are teaching their children Sexy Red, and women are twerking in front of their daughters, teaching them how to twerk. That's the society we live in. So somebody has to stand up and say, black people, we need to do better. We need to stand up for what is right. We need to stop drinking the Kool-Aid.
You feel me? Same thing when it comes to condoms and birth control. Condoms and birth control are not 100% effective.
Uh-oh. She said the condoms and birth... See, and they aren't 100% effective. Nothing is 100% effective. But I'm going to say this, and I'm going to make people mad again. Ladies, if you don't want to get pregnant, you ain't getting pregnant. You want to know how I know? Is because I grew up with women who never got pregnant unless they wanted to. You have over 20 different methods of contraceptive. You have birth control. You have the morning after pill. You have so many different preventative measures to prevent yourself from getting pregnant. But yet, you get pregnant because you want to get pregnant, not because it just accidentally happened.
But it significantly minimizes the risk of you getting an STD or you getting pregnant. In addition to taking preventative measures by not being in dangerous places by yourself, Actually listening to the men that tell you to take preventative measures is another way that will help to ensure your safety as a woman in this world. And to the ladies who have never had a man love them enough to try to prevent something bad from happening to them, you honestly have my sincere condolences. And to those of you who say, why don't you just tell men to stop abusing women? Why don't we hold them accountable? If telling someone to stop being an abuser, a thief, or a murderer worked, then the prisons, we wouldn't have a need for prisons. None of that would exist.
Exactly. At the end of the day, and this is what I'm going to close out on, we have to be more accountable. Men in 2024, we're doing it. We are accountable. You tell a man something, men will be like, we'll go ahead and do it. Yes, sir. We'll go ahead and do it. You tell a woman to marry before you carry, oh no, how dare you do that? I'm going to cancel you. I'm going to leave hate comments on your profile. I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. How dare you? See the difference? On one hand, you have a man that not only can be held accountable, but will hold himself accountable. And then on the other hand, you have a woman that runs from accountability. You see the difference? At the end of the day, we all have to do our part. We all have to hold people accountable, whether it's men or women. But right now, let's be honest, it's mostly the women that need to be held accountable. You can go on YouTube. After this video, I want you to go on YouTube and I want you to find a video of a woman holding herself accountable. And then come back here to this comment section of this live and paste it in the chat. I guarantee you, very minimal. I'm not going to say it's not there, but it's going to be very hard to find. Because this is the world that we live in. This is the world that we live in. What's up, Lonnie? How are you tonight? We live in a world where women just don't want to be held accountable. I'm gonna stay on for a couple more minutes because you just came as I was wrapping up. But I'm gonna stay on for just a few. And you might, oh, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. It's Tuesday. It's almost Wednesday. And then it's almost Friday. I'm doing good. But as I was saying, it's just like we live in a society where nobody's holding the women accountable. All the women have gone mad. So we have to do our part. We have to stand up for what's right. We have to stop worrying about who we're going to piss off and who we're going to make upset and who we're going to ruffle the feathers. Because at the end of the day, it's like the old African proverb, each one teach one. So by you watching this live or you watching any videos on my channel, you have a civic obligation to teach someone about what you learned. You have an obligation to learn, to grow, to be the best version of yourself that you can be. And I'm going to leave you with this before I get out of here. I want you to remember that at the end of the day, we have to hold ourselves accountable, both men and women, because nobody else is going to hold you accountable but you. And women, stop doing shit. It's time to marry before you carry. Listen to black men. Stop arguing with us. Stop nagging us. Stop worrying us to death. Just stop. It's not getting you anywhere. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, but expecting a different result. And a lot of black women, y'all are just doing the same thing over and over again, but you're expecting a different result. And you're not getting that different result, so you're upset. And I understand. I understand you're upset. I understand that you're hurt. I understand that you're traumatized. I understand that you need healing. But how long are you going to use that as a crutch? How long are you going to use that trauma as a crutch to say, oh, I'm traumatized. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. I'm going to keep choosing Pookies and Ray Ray because that's what I'm used to. How long? And if you don't take anything else from this hour and 38-minute live, remember this. Only you can change. Like I always say, don't get bitter, get better. And I say that for a reason, because a lot of people in this world are bitter. They're walking around like the world beat them up and threw them into the trash can, when at the end of the day, your life is on you. If you want to have babies by Pookies, you have to live with the consequences of that, not us. If you want to lay down with dogs, you have to get up with fleas. Take accountability. Don't get bitter. Just get better. And then when you get better, pick someone else up. Teach someone else. Each one teach one. So when you get better, and when you heal from your trauma, and when you do the right thing, you can teach someone else how to do the same thing, and then that's how we all heal, and we all grow, and we all become better people. So black women, it's time to get it together, because despite whatever people say, right, when they're older, they won't get it. Exactly. But black women, it's time to get it together, because at the end of the day, we need each other. I'm just going to be blunt and be honest. We need each other. Do you really think that black men like seeing modern women and their foolish behavior? Absolutely not. Because if we liked it, we wouldn't say anything about it. We don't like it because we keep saying stuff about it. Why do you think that is? Because we care enough about black women to say, black woman, you're fucking up. You need to stop. Come on back home. It's just like Monique said on her interview with Club Shay Shay. Just come back home. The light is on. We're just waiting on you to come back home. Right. I be shaking my head at them too. Black women, that's all black men want. That's all the black community wants. Just come back home. The light is already on. We already got a seat for you at the table. All you have to do is just come back home. Stop being a modern woman. Go back to the way you used to be. Go back to the black woman that we used to know. The one that loved the black man and would do anything for the black man. That's what we're waiting on. Come on back home, black woman. We're waiting on you. Anyway, that's been it for tonight's live stream. I hope everybody enjoyed it. Do not forget, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Do not forget you can join the channel now. I am a YouTube partner, so shout out to YouTube for allowing me to be a partner. If you want to join the stream, the button is right below, next to the subscribe button. Join the channel, show your support if you so desire. You get access to members only videos, which are coming next week. I'm going to be dropping 2 members only videos next week. So if you're not a member, join the channel. Life is so easy for them. Yeah, all we need to do is have them to act right and they'll be good. Because before I go, because I know people have accused me of being a black woman hater. I don't hate black women. I don't hate any race of woman. My preference is black women. But I love black women enough to call them out on their behavior. That's why I stand against the modern woman. That's it. I don't hate black women. I stand with black women, but against the modern woman. Because there are black women out there that are not modern women. Like Riva TV, Danica Dope Discussions, Melanie King, Crimson Kier, and a few others that I also watch and support. Right. God, then man, then woman. Exactly. Anyway, y'all, that's been it for tonight's live stream. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, tickle that notification bell. That will let you know every time I upload content. Join the channel, y'all. You will get access to members only videos that nobody else will see unless they're a member. I will have 2 members only videos dropping next week. You don't want to miss those videos. And I will be going live again on Friday. I got in late, good show. Definitely, man. You can definitely catch the replay. You can definitely catch the replay. Like a love from Intria. I hope I got that right. I hope I pronounced that right. Much love to you as well. Definitely. Negus Afro. I hope I'm getting that right. Negus Afro Dang Dong. Much love to you. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. If you just came in, watch the replay. It's an hour and 40 minutes of good knowledge about black women versus black men. Subscribe to the channel. Tickle that notification. Oz Afro. I live in Denmark. Born and raised in a private country. Shout out to Denmark. You know you're doing good when you have people from across the pond. I like black American men. I'm gay. There's room for everybody over here. Everybody's welcome, whether you're gay, straight, whatever. As long as you are about empowerment and you're against modern women, everybody's welcome. Everybody's welcome. I want to empower you. I appreciate that. Oh, oh. I mean, there's nothing right. Everybody's good. But anyway, y'all, shout out to Denmark. Always good to be. His teeth and smile so charming. Thank you. I appreciate that. I've been told I have good teeth and a good smile. Anyway, y'all, that's been it for today's video. Don't forget, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, tickle that notification bell. That will let you know every time I upload content. Do not forget, I upload content during the week. If you missed my last video, go back and check it out. I cover a little bit of what I covered tonight on that video. And until the next video, I will be live between Friday and Sunday. And I'm going to be dropping another video this week. Look out for that. Anyway, y'all, I'm going to get out of here. Today, new generation is so lost. What the next generation's going to do. Exactly. Exactly. Bye. Bye, niggas. You have a good night. Thank you for stopping by the show. If you just joined, catch the replay. I'm going to get out of here. Everybody have a good night. Happy Tuesday. Happy Black History Month. Shout out to everybody everywhere. Peace.